All right, well, a lot of the back pages in England are talking about Florian Wirtz, especially after Liverpool suffered quite a big loss to Manchester City in their last game. So much so that if Wirtz felt like everyone was against him, there is one man that is firmly in his corner, and that is the German head coach, Julian Nagelsmann, who knows him very well. He says, look, we all know what he's capable of, and it's perfectly normal for a player of his age to go through a bit of a dip in form. We can't expect him to perform at the same level for 3 years straight. Instead, we all need to support him a little bit so that he can clear his head here, and then maybe Liverpool could also help him out by scoring some of the chances he creates. That would be one idea, because he does create few chances. It's just that they somehow don't like to shoot the ball in, and that's also a part of the truth. Ooh. Ah, man, I wish I had someone that had my back like Julian Nagelsmann has Florian Wirtz's back. Well, someone who always has our back when we call him, Aage Fjortoft, is joining us for this one. Jan, what are your thoughts on what Julian Nagelsmann just had to say about Wirtz?
Well, don't you ever attack the golden sons of German football at the moment, Musiala and Wirtz. Then they will fight back. We know that. And we saw that with Julian Nagelsmann now. Florian Wirtz is very loved in Germany, and is the hope, together with Musiala, when he comes back from injury, to take them into the World Cup and take them into new trophies. What he's trying to do is to show Julian Nagelsmann, show Florian Wirtz, come back to me. Me, Julian, will look after you. To be fair to him, he got some points there, because it's also a bit about timing. I'm not even starting by seeing the troubles Liverpool had, but he had some. And he also said about the talking about the Chelsea when he came on, he did a fantastic trick and Salah didn't manage to score and so on. But I think that what he tries to say is, and he understands the situation in England, that I think that Florian Wirtz with no goals or no assists in the Premier League and costing so much, we knew that will happen. That will happen to any player. But Julian Nagelsmann tries to defend him. I think the main problem now from Florian Wirtz that he is now the symbol of bad Liverpool seasons. But I see him as a consequence of a bad Liverpool seasons, where there are a lot of different other reasons why that has happened. But now, with the price tag and no assists and no goals, he is a perfect symbol for them.
Stevie, I mean, we just saw that stat there. He's actually creating chances, second most in the Premier League without an actual registered assist.
Oh, he's actually creating. I would listen. I've not missed a second of all Liverpool games this season.
Yeah.
And if he's created 15 chances, then I need to go and change my glasses. I'm sorry. This is totally and utterly just try to prop him up. There's only one thing I agree with him when, and that is that because Liverpool are struggling, then he clearly will struggle. He's a guy who operates in the final third. That's his place. But Liverpool right now can't string enough passes on to get in the final third, to get him on the ball when it matters most, where he's at his best. So that's the only thing I agree with. The rest of it is he's just buttering Wirtz up for when he comes back to play for Germany. That's all that is.
Robbo, what do you think?
Exactly. I mean, the first three sentences were good. You know, he talked about him being low on confidence and he's a great player and he'll come good, all that. But once he started mentioning Liverpool, that was the wrong thing to do. He didn't have to mention any of that. He just had to talk about the player himself. You know, he's a great player. He's lost confidence at the moment. He's gone to a new league, a new country. He's gone to a new club. It's going to be difficult for the first 3 or 4 months. You know, that's what he should have been saying. He's going to come back to Germany. He's going to be a sensational for us in the next couple of games and he'll get his form back. That's what he should have been saying, rather than sort of starting to blame Liverpool because that didn't go down particularly well.
Yeah, and what do you think about what Robbo just had to say, that once he's brought Liverpool into this, it didn't go down particularly well? As a player, how would you feel seeing your national coach calling out your club teammates?
Listen, I followed the first part of your show, and which were very interesting, the soap opera in Spain. And I guess this is the balance. This is the way things are working now when you do the press conference at your national team. I see the same thing with Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard coming back to Norway. The Norwegian journalists are queuing up, want to ask anything, and Erling won't come to press conference. That's another thing, that he will just maybe do one then and again. So there is a lot of things up for misunderstanding. But I would, Robbo saying that he didn't have to put that in. I saw the headlines in the English media, wasn't surprising. They kind of translated, it was a bit lost in translation. He didn't say, I blame Liverpool for his lack of form. He didn't say that, but he should know that that will be a kind of the thing that will happening when that happened. I self came to England in 93-94 season, not with the money that Florian Wirtz was on, but I was still a record signing in Swindon Town Football Club back in the Premier League season 2. That's old I am. And I felt the same when I came there. I played bad at the beginning, had a small injury. You're losing your confidence. And it's clearly, we have all followed Florian Wirtz's career. We have watched the Bundesliga. I've been close to seeing him in Leverkusen over the years. And of course, you see a player now losing slowly his confidence. And also, Steve is saying the right thing because he's just like floating around. He can't find his position. And that is a terrible thing because sometimes we pundits, we say, yeah, they are like machines. They have to produce. No, these are fragile young kids trying to find a place at the reigning champion of England. And if they're not working, if they're not playing well, you are the first victim because you don't get a platform to find your place at.
If I was going to put a positive on Florian Wirtz, I would say that number one, he's kept his mouth shut. You know, he's not in the papers talking about how he's not playing and blah blah blah. And the other thing I would say is that when he actually has been on the field, he's not hiding. He's looking for the ball. He's
trying.
He's not sulking. He's not walking around with his tail between his legs. He's actually trying to get involved. He's trying to do what he does. It's just not working out. But, I mean, to be fair, to a guy as young as he is, throw in all the other stuff about new team and all the rest of it, but he is not hiding. And that is really important for both the fans to watch, for the manager, and for the other players as well, because, you know, they'll feel for him, but when they also see him not hiding and getting after it, even though it's not working out, that really matters.
Do you feel like it's going to put him in an awkward situation in the dressing room when they come back? Nagelsmann's comments?
No. Players are not interested in what international managers say. Well, we all know that the headline is not what's probably been said. And quite frankly, if Liverpool players are worried about what Nagelsmann says, just add it to the list of worries at the moment.
But somehow his stats on penalties lately has not been good, not for Manchester City. And remember, back when we played Israel, meaning Norway, he missed 2. He could take it again, and he missed that again. And he used to run up to the ball, watch the goalkeeper, Marashvili. He was very early going to his left on Sunday, but still Erling had kind of decided that he will go to that side and that he didn't do before. So he's not in a great run of penalties at the moment, which worries me because in 2 days' time, we have to win a home game to get to the World Cup. And I would like to see our boy doing ever so well, even on penalties.
Mark the date, because I think this was the first time we have ever heard Jan almost have something slightly critical to say about Erling Haaland.
Statement. I'm always on facts. I mean, how can you say not fact when you score 30 goals in a bad season? But I think he's a bit worried about that because a penalty should be a safe goal. It should be an easy goal to do, but his stats shows it differently now. And will he take the first penalty for Norway? Yes. Would he like to take the first penalty for Manchester City again? Yes. But remember, surprise to all of us, at the FA Cup final, he gave it away to Mamouche. So, well, we shouldn't see a lot into that, but I think that he's not very happy with his penalty form.
All right, well, either way, I'm sure Manchester City are so happy to see the form that he's in. And Manchester City, Robbo, seem to have turned over a new leaf. We're finally seeing the likes of Phil Foden scoring as well. We've been talking about whether they're looking at least close to the City of old. And now we know that they have gained ground on Arsenal. They have caught Arsenal before and chased them down. So Arsenal have been in this situation before. Do you see them, at least at the moment, becoming or being Arsenal's closest title challenger?
Yes, but I don't think it's going to be close come the end of the season. I still think Manchester City, yeah, they are playing much better. Doku, I thought, was magnificent against Liverpool. I did the Dortmund game, and they played well in that game. They scored 3 goals, and then, but they still can't actually dominate games as they used to. They can't dictate the pace of a game as they once did before, when Rodri was dominating midfield, when they kept the ball for fun, and the opposition were frightened of them. People aren't frightened of Manchester City anymore, and that's a key thing. You know, they're happy to get to go and press Man City a bit higher. They think they can win the ball back. They're happy to stick it in behind Man City because they think they can cause problems. So Man City aren't unbeatable by any means, but they are better than they were earlier in the season, and I think they will be the closest rivals to Arsenal, if not close, come the end of the season in terms of points.
Yeah, and what do you think? Interesting to hear Robbo say that City don't have that fear factor, especially when Haaland is in fearsome form.
Well, fair, but I did the game on Sunday. I did my stats since the beginning of April. No teams in England have done more points than Manchester City. And yes, they don't dominate the games as they used to do. That's why Guardiola has changed around a bit, because this is a guy who always look a bit forward. What can I do to make the game, our team, better? I don't agree 100% with Robbo there. I think Arteta would love Liverpool to win that game. He is so afraid of Manchester City. He is so afraid of Pep Guardiola. He can't sleep at night. When he sees them coming back now and get 3 points against Liverpool, the weekend did he get 1 point at Sunderland? That was the worst thing that could happen to him. Can you imagine his nightmares when he see Pep Guardiola coming again with a big left back? He see Haaland scoring goals for fun. He see Foden coming into it. And suddenly Doku is Lionel Messi. Nobody told him that should happen. I think Arsenal are so afraid of Manchester City that don't want to. And I hear you, Robbie, but I don't see it.
Tell you what, Jan's kids.
Who's going to win the title then? Who's going to win the title, Jan?
Jan's kids must have loved story time at night. Hey?
I love it. I love how Jan describes it.
That's a great story, Jan.
I will give Arsenal the best title they ever have, Robbo. I will give it their favourite title, 11th of November, 2025. Let's see in 2026, in May. I'm not 100% sure, Robbo. Are you?
Yes. I'm 100% sure that Arsenal win the title.
Enough.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen Robbo this confident in Arsenal. Not 100%, but he said 100%. All right, well, we will 100% be back taking your questions over on Extra Time. Jan's sticking around, so is Robbo and Stevie. They'll be answering them today, so you know you got to tune in. All right, this is a look at the top half of the Premier League standings. As we showed and talked about, Arsenal still at the top, but I want to focus on the team in 6th, Aston Villa. Big win over Bournemouth at the weekend, winning 5 of their last 6 league games. Now, James Ollie and Rob Dawson spoke to Matty Cash about Villa's style of play on a recent episode of The Football Reporters.
I think at Villa, we try and mix it up. We try and play and gain confidence from being good in build-up, because you can have success from it. You know, if you build up really well, you can obviously lose the ball when they score. But Unai always says to us, if we lose the ball and give it away, we just keep trying, we keep doing it. But obviously, old-fashioned way is to get it into the striker, hold it up and play second balls, isn't it? And that can be effective as well. So, trying to find a balance, really.
And I guess the manager is obviously a big part of that as well. I mean, just talk to us a bit about what makes him such a great coach. He's known for his very long video meetings. Are they as long as people say they are?
They're getting longer, to be honest. It's funny because when you win a few games in a row, he gets more demanding and the videos go double as long. We've definitely been in the video room for sometimes over an hour and 40 minutes easily.
Wow.
We have, like, obviously when we play, we then the week after watch the last game and he'll clip everything, literally hour and 40 minutes easily of what we can do. It's funny because when we score, he then, when he shows the clip of the goal, he'll then show other things we could do, even though we've just scored. It's like we've just scored, and he's like showing us different like lines of where we could have played, and that just shows the detail and the intensity that he's at, and how intense he is, and how much he wants us to improve. You know,
you have a dedicated fullback coach, right? Is that right at Villa?
Yeah.
Because that's not common, I don't think, is it? I mean, is that something you'd experienced before Unai came in?
Nah, never, no. We got fullback coaches, and obviously the coach does do a lot of stuff with other positions as well, but in terms of fullbacks, for me, I do loads of like one-to-one stuff. Even, for example, the day before we played City, I'd done 20 minutes just alone with him on marking Doku, on how to mark him. And I do a lot of research myself and studying on wingers and stuff, but it was like 20 minutes and then Doku didn't even start the next day. So it's like, done all that for no reason. Because I did plan for him to play, and then I didn't. Savinho ended up playing left wing as well. So I was watching loads of clips on Doku thinking this is how I'm going to defend him one-to-one. He didn't start. So yeah, that's how that was annoying, but.
Well, in my 11 years of working at ESPN, I don't think I've ever seen our Rob Dawson smile so much, and he wasn't even talking to a Manchester player. But anyways, interesting to hear there, Stevie, video sessions of about an hour and 40 minutes long. I think if you're going to sit me down for that long, you might start passing out snacks, maybe a drink or two. But you a fan of those methods from Unai Emery?
Like, who am I to argue with Unai Emery? He's obviously a great coach, and he's got his way of working. So who am I to poo-poo anything he does?
How long would you realistically last? So would you sit down there?
However, if you think people are sitting in there for more than 10, 15 minutes and not falling asleep and sticking matches in their eyes to look as though they're listening and watching what you're saying, you're absolutely kidding yourself on.
Yeah.
You are kidding yourself on. Mm-hmm. You know, I absolutely. You know, if you want to get a fullback and do little clips for them on who the opposition are or what they're doing, yeah, but you set a squad of players in a room for an hour and 40 minutes. Good luck.
Yeah.
You're kidding yourself on if you think if the only time they listen is if it's about them or it's in their spot. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it moves somewhere else,
they're out.
Hey, the earmuffs are back on and it wake me up when it's my turn.
Yeah, and you were laughing there or chuckling. You seem to enjoy that little clip from Matty Cash. What stood out to you?
Oh, well, first of all, Cash was so honest. I love that. We should have more of those interviews, and I think footballers and clubs should do them. But I got that Mr. Bean feeling when Mr. Bean is in the church and he tried to concentrate. And he kind of, because there are no players that can, like Steve is saying, for 1 hour and 40 minutes. I've never met a player who loves to be in there for 15 minutes. And my favorite story, we played Aston Villa with Ravanelli, and he didn't understand a word, and I had a translator next to him. And Brian Robson, our manager, we have some kind of analysis, and he asked Ravanelli, is that okay, Rav? And Rav went into a rant. I've never heard a rant like that in my life in Italian. And we had a translator sitting next to him, and all the words came out, catastrophe, defense, or catastrophe. And when he was finished, the translator looked at Brian Robson and said, yes, it's okay. And I just get that feeling in team meetings. And I grew up in the 90s with our national coach, Egil Olsen. We had something called a video cassette that we analyzed the games on with FF and REW, forward and back. And I swear to God, we hardly couldn't sleep afterwards because we were sleeping during the meeting.
Robbo, what did you think? I love how Jan had to explain VHS right there. Fast forward and rewind.
Well, if I was Hansi Flick, I'd spend 2 hours working on the back four looking at videos, what they could and shouldn't have done, because
Send the rest
because you could spend all day long and you could go through every moment of the game and say, well, you should have pressed the ball and you should have dropped off. So it needs to be done on occasions, but I agree with Steve. You can only do it for maximum half an hour. And what we used to do at Wimbledon when I was the head coach there, we had a sports analyst who used to clip up all the players' touches, and we'd send them to the players on whatever it was, on links, and then they could have a look at it and decide, and then if they wanted to come and speak to you about anything, they could. So that was the way we did it, but anything more than half an hour, the players are going to get absolutely bored.
Footballers have the attention span of a puppy. I'm telling you, I work with them. Look at this. On a good day. All right, well, for the full interview with Matty Cash, you can check it out over on the latest edition of the Football Reporters.